hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Something, 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 something.
Bow, bow, bow.
Let the girls out. Something.
Welcome back, Sunday Society, to another episode of Taking Back Sunday. Today, we are going to be talking about Valentine's Day and all the things that have to do with love, or maybe not. Okay, so I wanted to do a little bit of research on how Valentine's Day came about. And I kind of knew like Saint Valentine and like that kind of ordeal, but it goes farther back.
Ooh.
So,
We love a long story.
the origins of Valentine's Day is going to be what we talk about today.
Perfect. So maybe grab your, what should we grab for Valentine's Day?
Grab your teddy bear
Oh,
with the heart on it, because we've all had one.
yes, we have. Like Taylor Swift in the movie Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So grab your teddy bear, get comfy, and let's take back Sunday.
Okay, so Bianca, have you ever heard of the festival of Lupercalia?
I have not. I have never, not once. Not even a little bit.
All right, well, it was an ancient Roman celebration held from February 13th through the 15th. 15th was like main day, but they started celebrations the 13th. Sure. And boy.
Oh boy, howdy.
It was a fertility festival.
Oh.
Yes, dedicated to Lupercus, a Roman god.
Okay.
Associated with shepherds of fertility.
Mm-hmm.
And then they honored like this she-wolf like god that also had to do with fertility and stuff too. But anyway.
Sounds scary.
It's a lot darker than what we call Valentine's Day today. So they would begin with sacrifices of goats and dogs. And the goat symbolized fertility, and then the dog symbolized purification.
Okay.
And the priest would smear the blood on their foreheads, then wipe it off with wool soaked in milk.
I don't like any of this.
And after this, they would be expected to laugh, symbolizing joy and renewal.
Who's laughing at this? I'd be like, help.
It gets worse.
No.
Yeah. So the priest would cut strips of goat hide called February, which is February's, where February is derived from. They ran through the city, whipping willing women with these strips of hide.
At least they were willing.
And women were believed to be struck if they were struck, they would increase their fertility and ensure an easy childbirth.
Oh.
So it definitely started out as a pagan celebration in Rome.
A lot of our like mainstream holidays started out as pagan traditions, which is crazy.
So there have been accounts that would suggest that men and women were paired together randomly during the duration of the festival, or longer if they wished. And I think that might be where they link it kind of to Valentine's Day, as like the couples like matching up.
Yeah. Well, and it being like,
because I mean, it's all about fertility, and you can't be fertile without,
getting whipped with a goat hide
and doing the hanky panky.
Hey, so I have to ask, do you think this is where the term lubricant comes from?
I don't know. I literally thought about it as I was looking, but it's a P and not a B, so it's like, it's not
semantics.
Lubricant.
It all changes throughout time. Like the language, whatever. That is so crazy.
So then, as Christianity spread, the Roman Church worked to replace like the pagan festivals with Christian traditions. And by the 5th century, they actually banned it completely. They didn't.
We got to bring this back this year, girl.
Oh.
Go give me a goat. I'm just kidding. I love the goats.
So they kind of shifted the focus to more like Christian views and not the like pagan like sacrificing of animals and God, worshiping gods and things like that. So that's kind of where it started. And then where I kind of knew of it from would be the Saint Valentine, or possibly multiple Valentines. Like, there's so many different versions that it's like, was it one person or was it not? But the connection between St. Valentine and Valentine's Day definitely does have the mix of history, legend, and religious adaptation. So the name Valentine actually refers to multiple Christian martyrs, but the most famous story involves a priest named Valentine of Rome who was executed on February 14th around 269 AD during the reign of Emperor Claudius II.
Boo.
So, to kind of understand why this has anything to do with Valentine's Day, that emperor allegedly banned young men from marrying, believing that unmarried soldiers fought better.
Yeah.
And so then, Valentine would defy the emperor and continually, like, secretly marry couples in the name of love.
Yes, I love that story so much.
But he was discovered and was arrested and executed on February 14th. So, so this is where we're going to go into, like, the legends of this Saint Valentine. So, there is a legend that claims that while in prison, Valentine befriended or fell in love with the jailer's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, spicy, a little spicy.
A little soap opera going on.
I'm just trying to figure out if this would have been a priest. If it is a saint and a priest the same thing? Because they ain't trying to be falling in love with nobody. But anyway, before his execution, he allegedly wrote a letter to her that was signed "From your Valentine."
Your Valentine.
Yes. A phrase we still use today. Then apparently there's like a story that he healed a blind daughter of the jailer, not fell in love with her. And then his final message to her before his death supposedly led her to regaining her sight. I don't know.
True love's kiss.
Yeah. So then, kind of moving forward out of that, we move into, the times where we started talking about courting people. And we have Geoffrey Chaucer in the 14th century, like Saint Valentine. He was romantic and he wrote poems. And he wrote about birds choosing their mates on Valentine's Day. Aww. So by the Middle Ages, February 14th definitely became very popular for courtly love and people starting to exchange love notes and tokens.
Ooh,
so
tokens. Who's giving me a token on Valentine's Day? You know what I mean?
Courtly love would include like a knight serving a lady as his noble inspiration. Love is a source of suffering and longing. Poetry and letters, the idea of true love made a person mortally better. And then Chaucer wrote Parliament of Fowls, which really, in this poem, they're like, is this the first Valentine's Day love story? He talked about birds choosing their mates, which we kind of mentioned. And then people then read that and referred back to that about Valentine's Day because, if the birds are finding their mates and loving each other, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So, anywho, all of that to say that now we have, as years gone by, we have become where Valentine's Day is a huge deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. It's so big that, we have people spending hundreds of dollars. Every restaurant that is nice will have reservations that you have to make months prior to try to go out for Valentine's Day. And then the people that are single and lonely are sad on Valentine's Day because they don't have a Valentine. So I want to get more into that. So let's discuss where we might have taken it too far, in my opinion. That hot take. So the Victorians were big on cards and poetry, which a lot of them were handwritten cards. And, you're writing poetry. And then somewhere, we hit the 20th century and it's about chocolates and jewelry and flowers. And modern day, I feel like at times it's about how much you spend and how elaborate and extravagant it is.
Yeah.
And so, I want to talk about that. So Bianca, do you remember buying Valentine gifts and how much you think you spent? Like if you could say like top number.
like the most I've ever spent on Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
So gift giving is my vibe, my jam, my lifeblood.
I know it is.
I would say $100.
Okay.
I mean, not terrible.
So there are dozen roses that go for $400 for Valentine's Day.
What?
Yep, $400.
For 12 roses?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Where? Were these roses dipped in 24 karat gold?
Nope.
Do they sing to you?
Nope. They're going to die in about 5 to 7 business days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would be so mad.
So I actually looked up how much the average person spends in America on Valentine's Day. And the average person would spend, depending on age groups, 35 to 44, average is $335.
That is, on average, that is so much money.
And then the average, like not based on, age, would be about $185 per person.
That's crazy.
So the majority of spending is directed towards significant others, with an estimate of $14.2 billion allocated to gifts and experiences for Valentine's Day.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's so much money.
So I try to figure out, like, why did, like, showing our love, I already am jaded about that there's a day that you have to show your love. Like, why aren't we showing our love every day?
Yeah.
But, like, okay, I'll get a Valentine's Day card or write a card or whatever and, like, put something nice in it or grab some little chocolate or whatever. Because I guess that's what we're supposed to do. Like, that's what society tells us to do. But I want to know where spending money came into play with how much you love somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that it equates, because we've talked about with love languages, like if their love language is physical touch and you spend $400 on some roses, they're gonna be like, what is this?
Yeah, I would be so angry if Zach spent $400 on roses. I would be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like I want a 5-star penthouse suite, one night, $400.
Yeah.
Let me have that experience over something that, like you said, they're not going to live forever.
Yeah. And I don't think gift giving is wrong. I do think, though, that in our culture, everything turns into, a money thing.
It's
like, we've got to spend money. Yeah, we're bigger, we're better, we're putting more stuff out. Now, there is that other side of, like, that does give people jobs.
True.
Like flower shops.
Oh, yeah. Flower shops, Russell Stover, all the chocolate people, Hallmark,
Yeah, we're giving people jobs. Revenue. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just feel like, I don't know if I'm jaded or what, but I'm like, every holiday is about money now.
Yeah. It really is. I don't know that it's...
Thanksgiving isn't, but you're still spending lots of money to make food.
But then Black Friday is.
Yeah, but Black Friday coming in real hot, just right off the tail end.
We just said, we're thankful for everything.
Yep, let's go get more stuff.
Let me go punch a woman for a flat screen.
Yeah, you don't even have to do that anymore. So, yeah.
No, I personally, I will say, like, because I like to... words of affirmation is important to me. Mm-hmm. So like Valentine's Day and being told how much you mean to somebody, I really looked forward to that. Now that I've been single for a little bit, I'm just like, whatever. Like, it's not a big deal. I think you got me a card last year that was signed from my dogs.
It was!
Which was great. I loved it.
I did, but because I was like, everybody needs like a little something every once in a while.
Yeah. I mean, I remember in school, the only flowers I would ever get on Valentine's Day were from my parents. And I loved it. Yeah. I loved that they would send me stuff on Valentine's Day.
But again, like, I am that person that's like, what about all the kids that don't get things sent to school for Valentine's Day?
I mean, that's not my fault.
No, it's not. No, I'm not saying
that makes me sound really cruel. But it's like...
But, like, I always felt bad for the people that didn't get anything. And it was just like,
yeah.
Because Valentine's Day was a big day where there'd be balloons and flowers and candy.
True.
And, you get called to the office and you come back with all this stuff. And, like, there were kids that their parents couldn't afford or didn't think about doing it, or they thought it was stupid. And they didn't do it. And I just always wondered, like, I feel like that would make me sad.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I've been that person.
And I wonder
too.
if your parents have ever done that for your brothers, or if it was just because you were a female.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think they did it for my brothers.
Yeah, because your brothers would be like, "Why are you getting me flowers,
Right,
bro?"
And like for my birthday, like they'd always
Yeah.
send me flowers to school on my birthday.
My birthday was never at school, so
I know, that sucks.
Yeah.
Brindley's is like right on the skirt.
Yep, she's
usually-
they're 2 days into school and she's having a birthday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
How did we get here? What was the question? I will say that with school, you know, they would have, I don't know that they still do this, but have Valentine's Day parties where you would,
Yes.
first of all, though, when we were in school, you just brought a shoebox that you put like construction paper on.
I literally wanted to talk about the evolution of kids as Valentines.
All right, are you ready to go there? Do we want to go there now?
Yes.
It's insane. We, like I said, shoeboxes, literal shoeboxes. You go around, you just put your little card.
Or
It's,
like the
folded in half
paper
with a
that you
sticker.
fold and you staple and it makes like an envelope. And you put stickers on
For
it.
the kids that didn't bring a box. Exactly.
Yes.
And now it's like,
dude, it is a peeing contest
It is-
for parents.
it is like gladiators out
You
here.
are not going to be a good parent if your kid doesn't have the most extravagant, most unique Valentine's box. And let me tell you, Brindley has already started in, we got to start thinking about my Valentine's
Oh my
Day
gosh.
box.
What theme this year? What are we doing this
I
year?
don't know. She never
Secretly,
does
I
it by
love
herself either. It's never just her.
No. I'm secretly, I love it.
But I'm like, and it's so much, it's just another thing and another
I
pressure
know.
on parents.
It really is.
Let
It
me
really
tell you,
is.
I love celebrations for my kids, teachers, no disrespect, but dang, every day for right before Christmas, the busiest time of the year, we're going to have a celebration and a theme day, and I have to go make sure my daughter has all these different things to wear for those days. I'm just like, please, why do you hate me so much?
Yeah.
As a parent, it's like, no.
Yeah, because every year it's a different.
And I told my
thing.
daughter, I was like, well, you're getting what you get. Yeah,
I
we don't
said
throw
what
a
I
fit. Yeah, and we don't throw a fit. So, you've helped Brindley with Valentine's boxes.
Yeah.
What do you think the purpose of all of these extra, like, when did that start? Because it wasn't when we were kids.
It wasn't when we were kids, and I don't know. Because
Corbin,
I didn't
Corbin had them.
really.
Yep. He did a Spider-Man box one year. He did a box where it was like his face with the dog's face, and then like his mouth was open, and that's where you put the. Yeah. So it was at some point between me being a small child and Corbin. 15 years or
Yeah, I don't.
not 15 years. 19, 20 years. Somewhere in
Yeah,
that 20-year
somewhere.
period of time. I was
Yeah,
like, 15 years.
I know, I was
whoa.
like 15. How old were you when you had Corbin? I have no idea. And I don't know why it became such a big deal. Because I feel like the little boxes were just fine. You know, it was probably one person. It was
Did
literally
something to
one
show- yeah.
extra Betty who brought in this elaborate box. And then everyone's kids were like, we have to have a box like this next year. And it's just snowballed.
I just had a Nike shoebox, and Susie had a gumball machine that
Yes.
shot out our Valentines. Why couldn't you do that for me? Like, that's probably
Yeah.
what happened.
And and the parent guilt of like, you don't love me if you don't do this for me is real.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
so then we go into like the boxes and how extravagant they are, but then like we're not only getting our spouses things for Valentine's Day, but like I now have to get my kids something for Valentine's Day.
Do you?
Yes. Because if not, I feel like a bad parent.
Did you set that precedent for yourself though?
I feel like society did.
Screw society. Almost forgot my religion.
I feel like I'm like, oh, well, you know, I feel like they'll be like,
It's-
oh, and I do understand like being able to show like affection in a
Yeah.
small way to like your
Sure.
kids or whatever. But like, I just feel like as a society, a culture,
We are doing the most.
we are doing the most always.
Always, because now there's burr baskets. Like what
well,
the heck
I'm
was
sure
that?
there's a love
there were-
basket.
Boo baskets, burr baskets.
What's going to be for
What-
Valentine's
What's
Day?
next? Yeah.
I wish
Love
I-
baskets.
yeah.
I don't know. it's just, it's out of control. We're out of control. Reel it in. Somebody who loves gifts and loves to give them and loves to get them, we are doing too much.
I just feel like we are always having to
it's
push.
the capitalist society, man.
Yes.
It is
like
capitalism.
spend more money, spend more money,
Yep.
spend more money, spend more money.
And it's freaking social media that has just elevated it. It has just leveled up that expectation, because now kids see it all the time.
Yeah.
On everything.
Yeah, my daughter comes to me before Christmas. I want a bird basket. Look at these bird baskets. I'm like,
and you're like,
okay.
what's a burr basket?
Yeah, and I'm
What
like,
the
okay.
hell is
So then I
this?
was like, we're not doing that. But I did do you.
We're not doing that.
I'm getting you lots of presents. But for my older nieces that didn't get gifts from me, because that's how it works in our family for Christmas, I did get them burr baskets or boo baskets. I got them boo baskets. That's what it was. It was not boo. I got them boo baskets.
Yeah.
And then I did all the older nieces and nephews. And then for next year, I'll do like the little ones.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
And
I
see,
do
it
enjoy
fills my cup. I love giving gifts.
I do too. But why is it? I guess my question is, why do I feel like the amount of money that I spend then shows how much I love somebody? Like, why is that the society that we live in? Why is that the culture that is pushed? And why do I need one day a year to tell somebody how much I love them? But if we want to be technical, I might be a little offended that I have not been asked to be anybody's Valentine yet this year.
Bye. Goodbye. I'm leaving. Wrap it up. We're out. Listen,
I saw that and I was like, I'm like just sitting here waiting for the husband to ask me to be his Valentine.
Listen, Heifer, you got a built-in Valentine. You ain't out here in these streets working for it.
I know.
So, yeah. No.
Bianca needs a Valentine's Day, guys.
I look great in red. So, I definitely think that it is because of the economy that we live in, the society that we live in. We are so focused on making money, and that is why we have probably all these marketing agencies that are encouraging
spending money.
Yeah, you got to spend money to make money, allegedly. Yeah. But it's just marketing strategies. They're marketing to people who it's targeted. They're choosing who to market to, kids who are going to guilt their parents into doing these things. And it's just so these big companies can make more money.
Yeah.
It's not authentic. I mean,
I'll go back to my hot take when we were on That's How You Feel. Do not get me a Valentine's Day card or any card and then just sign your name. I'm throwing it away. You wasted $5.
Going away.
You wasted $5 because I will throw it away. Sit down and write me a card that is blank. Write me your real feelings and how you feel and how wonderful I am and why you think that. I will keep it for forever.
Yeah.
But you sign your name and that thing is going right in the trash.
Bye.
I don't know. I'm going to say this. I am torn on the Valentine's Day just being romantic because now we've opened it up to Galentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
The kids celebrating at school. I do like that, we're, being friends and sharing the love with everybody. Because, at school, you don't leave people out. You don't pick and choose who you give, candy or Valentine's to or whatever. But then I'm also like, can us adults just have anything to ourselves?
I've never thought about it that way before.
I was thinking about it yesterday while I was preparing for this. Can us adults just have anything for us?
Can we just have one thing? This is why we can't have nice things.
Last week, I wanted to go to a nice dinner, and my husband was like, we are not taking the kids. We didn't end up going. He was like, we're not taking the kids. They're not going to appreciate that. We're going to spend hundreds of dollars at this place, and then they're not even going to appreciate the food.
Yeah.
And so we just didn't go. And I'm like, gosh, dang it.
Nah, girl, call me next time. I'll watch those kids. But you're going to be bringing me something.
Bring you some leftovers.
Bring me some leftovers. Bring me a doggy bag. So I found some hot takes, hot topics.
Okay,
whatever.
I'm here for them.
The one that I really like, there's two that I really like. It's the anti-Valentine's parties are cringy. And that hating on Valentine's Day just makes you look bitter.
Bitter Betties.
Bitter Betties.
So,
we don't do that here.
But so here I am as a happily married woman, and I still feel like I'm kind of like, why we have to be so extra with Valentine's Day? I'm okay with little things,
Yeah,
little celebrations.
you're not
It's
throwing.
the big stuff that I'm like, why? I bought you a Rolex.
You got my Rolex.
I bought you a dozen roses that cost $500 or
I can't
whatever,
believe
$400.
that.
That's ridiculous.
So insane.
Or even like 150 would be, in my opinion, like, why are we spending that kind of money?
So much money. Yeah. Or these
on
flowers
things that are
had a
going to
better-
die.
Yeah, these flowers were raised better than I was. Dang. I mean, no, I think that what that means is like people that literally are actively like anti-Valentine's Day.
Yeah, like what was is it called Valentine's Day?
Yeah,
the
that
movie.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy that movie, but
yeah, I did too. And she has a little party at the end where they're like hitting the piñata that's a heart because they hate love, and it's like, it's okay to be single and not hate love. Like, you're allowed to be single and still be hopeful.
I wanted to ask you, what is, as a single person, how do you feel about Valentine's Day?
I wish I had a Valentine. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need no man. I don't. But would it be nice? Yeah. Do I want somebody to show me love and affection? Yes. And you know what? Maybe that it is a little cheesy to just have one day dedicated to love, but you can still love on all the other days, but just having that one day that you dedicate to just honoring that love, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So maybe that's my hot take.
So if you had children in school, would you be sending them flowers and balloons to the office?
Yeah. I would. I'm extra.
It's okay. It's okay.
I love it. I love love. I'm a hopeless romantic. I always have been. I probably always will be. I pretend to be.
Probably why she's single.
Probably.
Because she has high expectations.
Yeah, maybe.
She got high hopes.
High hopes. And low
results.
Low quality.
These 2025 men are not the movies. That's not what the movies were selling.
Rom-coms definitely set up unrealistic expectations.
They really did.
Yeah.
And I feel like all of our childhood Disney movies.
Yeah.
Like
Disney Channel
love
ruined
story.
it.
Disney, like, love stories. Princesses, princes, whatever.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. All of it ruined it for me.
And I'm just like, these men are not rescuing me out of any kind of castle.
Okay. I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Is proposing on Valentine's Day romantic or cliche?
So I think it is cliche, but I also think it could be romantic. So
yeah. Well, that's not an answer.
I do, however, feel like, me personally, I would want it to be on a day I was not expecting.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel like it is a little cringe.
Yeah, you think so?
Maybe a little. Could you imagine, like, going down to, like, tie your shoe and, like, somebody thinking because it's Valentine's Day, you're proposing to them?
Oh my gosh.
And you're like, oh no, I just tied my shoe. They're like, oh.
I'd be mortified. So
both of them. And you're like, oh, there's just a lot of pressure on Valentine's Day. I don't think we need to add any more.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
So here, another question is, do Valentine's Day traditions unfairly pressure people to conform to societal norms about relationships?
Can I tell you that I agree with that 100%? Yeah. Number one, I do agree that we have put, just in general in life, we have so much pressure put on us for no reason.
Yeah.
But Zach and I's first Valentine's Day, we were super poor. Like, poor. Like,
not even poor.
Yeah, we didn't we couldn't afford the other OR. We was just poor. Anyway, I got a $9.99 pizza from Pizza Hut, and I asked them if they could make it into a heart shape, and they were like, well, we don't really do that. And I was like, you can't align the pepperonis like a heart? Anyway.
Yeah.
I think they ended up just, I don't even know. I can't remember.
Now they
do it.
Heart-shaped dough. Like, the crust isn't a heart.
Girl, let me just tell you. This
was Hannah's idea.
This was my idea, and they could not have cared less.
No. That's disappointing.
But anyway, we went out to the lake here in town and sat at a park bench. And I guess it wasn't super cold because we were out there and had pizza, just the two of us, for a little bit. And that was our Valentine's Day. And that was enough.
I'd be fine with that.
That was enough.
Yeah, I love that.
And, you know, I don't know.
When you're with the right person, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It's
but it
whatever
like
works
Zach,
for you.
Say Zach told me on Valentine's Day, he sent me flowers, and on the card it said like, meet me at this restaurant at 7. I would just be like, oh, that's so nice. I'm not going to be like, this is so cliche.
Right. Like we could sit back and make these assessments and make these judgments or these observations.
But like if you want to go big, like what I just don't feel like it's the pressure. You shouldn't feel pressure.
Right.
To do the most. Like that's my thing.
It's only if you want to.
Yeah.
If you want to, great. If you don't,
like if I don't do anything on Valentine's Day except for maybe get some of the heart-shaped Reese's peanut butter cups because they're the best.
All the holiday-shaped ones.
Yeah.
Top tier.
I mean, I would be completely okay with that too.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I don't need huge, extravagant gestures of love. Yeah. At this point, I'll take what I can get. But my standards, listen, I have high expectations, but you know, it's again, knowing how your partner expresses their love.
Yeah.
And learning to work together to make sure that their language and your language work and mesh.
Now, if I have to come home on Valentine's Day and do a whole bunch of house chores that could have been done by somebody else to make my life easier, we're going to have a problem.
The whole society is going to hear the screaming. I promise you that.
Next on Am I the Bad Guy? Hannah kicked everybody out of her house. No. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think however you want to celebrate, it's fine. I do think I think that there should be some holidays that are just about adults. Like I do get like having kids, like share the love. I love it. Like whatever. But I also think it's okay to like, if it was just for romantic
love
would be okay.
Yeah. I do think though that in that movie, Valentine's Day, one of my favorite storylines is that little boy who's just so in love, but he's in love with his teacher, which is whatever. But then at the end, it's like the peer in his class that he like spends that time with. And I'm like,
I just watched a rerun of Modern Family where Lily, who is an adopted daughter of 2 gay men, is talking about the dad realizes that she has a crush, and so he's trying to tell her what to do, and he thinks it's the boy that lives upstairs because they rent their upstairs area. He thinks it's the little boy. They invite the family over, and sure enough, it's the daddy. She is flirting with daddy, and he's like, so "Oh, honey." Anyway, it's like, but this kind of reminds me of the same thing. Like you're like, oh, you're so in love, but maybe not appropriate.
The wrong person. But I do think the adult needs to be very clear with the boundaries.
Oh, they're mine.
They're
like, oh, Mr. Stevens is so nice, or like
whatever. We both had crushes on some of our teachers growing up. Yeah. You know, like I think it's normal.
I think that there was a couple years that every girl had a crush on a certain teachers.
Yes, definitely. 7th grade?
Oh, I was thinking high school, that guy, he was like a coach, maybe the weightlifting teacher. He was good looking.
Oh, I don't remember.
Anyway,
so I have 2 questions that kind of go together.
Okay.
And I feel like I know the answer to both of these. I feel
Probably.
like does the commercialization of Valentine's Day ruin the romance?
I don't think it ruins it, but it definitely, I feel like, pushes more what you're doing, and like I feel like it's like social media. Like let's show off. Instead of like actually, what it actually, I'm doing something nice because I think this is what you'd like. It's more of like, let's show off of what I did.
I'm doing this nice because I think it's going to get a lot of views.
Yeah.
Or whatever. A lot of likes, a lot of comments, a lot of exposure.
I bet you there are people that have proposed on Valentine's Day for views. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Duh. So there was something that I wanted to talk about that we haven't touched on yet. And it's that businesses inflate their prices at Valentine's Day.
Roses.
For flowers and chocolates during the season. Is that ethical? Do you think that's ethical?
I don't think it's ethical, but I think it's capitalism.
They're doing it. They're clearly doing it.
And
The
we
same
just
thing.
do.
The same thing happened with COVID. All the prices skyrocketed, and now
they
they're
never
like,
went back.
yeah, they never went back because they know that we need these things, and they're not going to adjust that price. But anyway, Valentine's Day, I got off on a tangent, off topics for just a minute. I think that's a terrible thing to do. So, like, do I need to go? What day is it? The 17th, 18th of January? Do I need to go buy my flowers now while they're cheap?
Or your chocolate?
Or chocolate. Oh, yeah. Chocolates would last a lot longer right now. But probably not, though. Because I think it is selling. It is in the selling season, you know, when Walmart puts their aisles out with all their holiday stuff.
Right, the day after Christmas.
Yeah. The prices are marked up.
Right
and
around
it's just,
Christmas.
it's so silly. And it just,
Everybody's just trying to win that, get that money. Hustle.
So if you just get nothing but a high five from me for Valentine's Day, you'll know why.
So I have a question.
Okay.
I love these. So give me imagine your perfect Valentine's date. Tell me what that looks like.
April 28th. Because it's not too hot. It's not too cold. You just need a light sweater. Perfect Valentine's date. Well, I think dinner is obviously involved. But I can't decide. I can't decide. I am a stay-at-home girly. I love to be at home. So I'm trying to think, like, would I want to go out, or would I want him to cook for me at home? I want to be wined and dined. So maybe actually at home, because then I could drink all the wine I wanted. We could eat strawberries off each other.
I love it. Do it. Get spicy with it.
Listen, who wants to be my Valentine? I bring the strawberries. Sorry, Pam. But no, I think because I enjoy quality time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that making me a meal would be like a gift that you're giving to me. Of course, I want to have flowers. I'd love to have I'm just imagining this old wood, like barnwood table with this beautiful centerpiece of flowers.
Yeah.
And these white china plates. And he's cooked me steak and asparagus and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, girl.
And we order in cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory. And then, the strawberries, you know what happens next.
Then they eat them off of each other.
Exactly. That sounds nice to me.
I think that sounds like an amazing date.
Who's doing this for me? Who's making this happen? Because I'm lonely and I need some steak.
I can do all but the eating strawberries off of you. I'm always trying to fill in what Bianca's missing.
She really is trying to be my wife.
But I cannot do that
There
part.
are things that there are just needs that you can't meet, Hannah. I'm sorry. This took a turn. What is yours?
What is mine?
What is your favorite or perfect Valentine's date? Because you have kids, so you come from a different perspective.
Yeah.
You may not want to stay in.
No,
You
definitely not.
Leave.
Definitely already have my hair, my makeup, my lashes, my outfit all ready to go as I'm going to work that morning because I got a good night's rest and plenty of time to get ready in the morning.
Okay, are we in a dream right now? What's happening?
And then I get flowers delivered to work with me to say to meet Zach at a certain place at a certain time. And I show up there with a good dinner. And then afterwards we go just to get a chocolate bag, and that's it. And we eat it in the car.
If he doesn't get you a chocolate bag this year for Valentine's Day, I'm divorcing him for you.
We eat the chocolate bag in the car and just listen to music and just talk in the car. And when we get home, the kids are asleep.
Listen, if you need a babysitter, just call me. I'll have the kids in bed by 8 p.m. That sounds
My
wonderful.
Kids are hood. They are not going to let you put them to bed at 8
No, they're
p.m.
not.
They're going to be like, you must live in the neighborhood.
Right.
We are in the hood, and we go to bed at 10:30.
Corbin would be fine. He'd go to his room. He wouldn't care. Brinley is the only child that has ever felt comfortable enough to tell me no. Like, Brinley, go to your room. No. Whoa. What?
I think it's because she thinks you're her mother too.
Yeah, she is safe with me.
Mm.
She feels it, and I love it. But at the same time, I'm like, you don't know me,
You're gonna
girl.
learn today.
You don't know who you talking to.
Oh, I love describing her to people.
She's so much fun.
But yeah, no, and another thing would be for my kiddos to have made me like a little poem or a little card. I think that would be great. Zach and I's first Valentine's Day together. I said our first Valentine's Day, maybe married, because our first Valentine's Day, we were in Warrensburg, and he made like an origami frog card for Corbin that he did himself, and like I don't know, it was like, so it kind of it's kind of bounced.
What you're talking about. That's
and he made me a homemade card, and that might have been the night I tried to pass off the lasagna. No, that is another thing. I cooked dinner. I think I made, I bought filet mignon, and it was like real fancy, and cooked it inside. But yeah, it was winter, and I was a woman and didn't have a grill. So yeah, but I thought that those cards were the sweetest thing.
Yeah. Because you get to read like what you mean to somebody.
Yeah. Well, and just like it's the thought for me. Yeah. Like you put thought into this. You took time out of your day to like
take notes.
Not just for me, but for my child.
Because men probably feel the same way.
Oh, I would love to hear from some of you men on how, like,
what's your perfect
What's your experience with Valentine's Day? And then like, how would you change it if you could? Like,
yeah.
Do you get wined and dined?
Right. It's just been a minute for me, so I need someone to wine and dine me. But I would love to wine and dine somebody. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
That sounds like so much fun. Give me the reins, baby. But don't make me plan everything always.
Yeah.
Because then it's not as fun. You know, if it's like a role reversal, that's fun.
Yeah.
But like, do they want to have handwritten cards that say how much they mean to me? Probably. Like, right? Who doesn't like to know?
I mean, I don't know who wouldn't want to know.
Right.
Flowers is a weird thing.
Yeah, I don't know if guys are like, oh, I got roses.
Yeah. They're like, it's like some men might like appreciate it and be like, oh, I got a beautiful flower arrangement to add to the aesthetic of my office or whatever.
Yeah.
I think my husband would be like, WTF.
Right. Like, who is this? And
yeah, I think everybody's just different. But I would love to hear from some men on like, what is your take on Valentine's Day? Do you think that there's too much pressure on you? Do you think that there's not enough pressure on your loved one?
Dude, this would have been a good conversation to have with Caleb and Levi.
It would have.
Because, I think that we lack a male perspective. So it is nice to kind of get that. You try. I really feel like you try to bring a good, balanced perspective. I don't care.
We do appreciate all the support, but you can follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter.
I got balloons because I went like this.
Yeah, I don't because I have an Android. Yeah, I'm trying to think. X. We are constantly posting on all of those, and then Facebook. If that we're on there a lot, so if you're commenting, if you're reacting, whatever, we'll be able to see that, and then hopefully have conversations. We got a lot of good comments, and we're going to talk about that in our next episode we record. Some comments that we got from one of our episodes it was on TikTok that we got the replies, but there were a lot of them, a lot of opinions by people. We have no idea who they are. So,
and I love it. We really did get good feedback.
Yeah. So with that, I'm Hannah.
I'm Bianca.
And we are Taking Back Sunday. They're going to die in about 5 to 7 business days.
Oh my gosh.
No. Hold on.
We're all having it. It's fine.